baggage. So, man, I think that's the thing that makes me sad is that if your best hope is something like that, then I mean that's like you trying to win the NBA championship and all your players are 5'8". Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you have nothing. So that's the thing that I think makes me saddest about all of that.
Right. Now I heard you talking about the Ice Cube, you know, his contract with Black America, and I heard you saying that he consulted with you, Dr. Claude Anderson, before he actually went out and put this plan into fruition. Can you talk about, you know, that experience and what aspect of the plan did you help Ice Cube with?
Well, you know what? I'll say this. Cube contacted me after the contract was done. And the way we came into each other's consciousness space is I had just talked about it. You know, I'd heard it. Somebody mentioned it to me. They said, why don't you check it out? And I didn't know what to expect. You know, I've always been a fan of Cube's music. And you know, if you're a Black man, most of the time you're in touch with two things, sports and hip hop, right? And another interesting subtlety about being a Black man in America I've noticed is that you can tell a guy's personality by how he plays basketball, you know, or if you listen to lyrics and music, you can tell where somebody's mind is at. You know, like you play basketball and the guy like is a ball hog. That a lot of times that means he's a jerk. You know what I mean? He's a narcissist. Or you got a guy like LeBron who shares the ball. That means he's a team player, probably in every aspect of his life. You know, or Michael Jordan, who's always aggressive, right? He's aggressive in everything. Well, the same thing is true with hip hop. So I would listen to Cube's lyric. I've been listening to Cube's music probably. I mean since he started, you know, and he was one of my favorite rappers. And I noticed this growth in his music. You know, this message that kind of said he wanted something better for the community, and I always respected that. So I checked out the contract with Black America, and I read through it, and from the first paragraph, I said, okay, this was not just something somebody just threw together. Because remember that we've had other celebrity hip hop artist types speak up, and sometimes they didn't speak up, they fucked it up. You know what I mean? Like what Snoop did with Gayle King was completely unthought. It wasn't thought through properly. It ended up being almost like an embarrassment for the community. You know what 50 Cent kind of doesn't always make sense to me. Kanye, you know, Kanye's not a bad guy. He's definitely pro-Black. But there's a little bit of maturity that I think needs to occur. Whereas with Cube's plan, I said, okay, this was written by scholars. Like this was not written just by a guy who rolled out of bed and, you know, slapped it on a napkin. And so when we talk, you know, again, I'm still trying to figure out, okay, who is this guy? I know his music, but I don't know him. And I found that he was very good and resourceful at just talking to as many people as he could so he could take in information. Like he was approaching politics the way I might approach things if I was trying to become a hip hop artist, right? I don't know anything about how to be a good hip hop artist. So I would probably go talk to rappers that I know and ask them like, so what should I do next? Or how do you go in the booth? How do you do this? How do you do that? Mm-hmm. He was taking in information, you know, and so that I think that's what led me to become offended when people who didn't want to hear a Black man use his voice in that way. I mean, they're used to a Black man using a big platform to, you know, do ignorant stuff. But when you start using it to do intelligent stuff, then you truly become dangerous. So I became offended when people were writing this off like, oh, you just a dumb rapper. You know, you probably a MAGA hat wearing Trump supporter. That to me was propaganda used to try to neutralize the impact of what his contract with Black America was doing. Because that sucker's good. If anybody goes to take a look at that, it's very, very thorough.
Yeah, we read a little bit of it, of the contract for our people and our subscribers when we initially read it ourselves, and we couldn't agree more, Dr. Boyce. We 100% agreed. Like, okay, this is something that we don't know if it's 100% correct on the ins and outs. We don't know all of that, but we know that the intent is 100% for Black people. It's probably one of the most thorough things we've seen presented to any political party thus far. And I like it. But the thing that you see, especially within the Black community, unfortunately, within hip hop, Hollywood, comedy, whatever, especially within social media, is first of all, pro Democrat. Anything to do with Republican is racist, the devil. Black people aren't allowed to make money like that. Black people aren't supposed to do this. We're supposed to be Democrat. And then when we see somebody like a Cube go against that grain and genuinely just do something for Black without the blue or the red cape over their back, they get criticized. They get ostracized. They get damn near wanting to call blackballed or canceled, so to speak. Can you talk about the reasoning as to why some of his cohorts were so heavy on him just because he went away from the Democratic cape?
Well, you know, Black people are used to being owned. We're used to being possessed. by somebody. We want somebody to claim us. Like if I grow up as a black man in a lot of families, I'm not really gonna be seen with respect if I say I'm gonna start my own business. I'm gonna be my own man. Right. You're more respected if you say, well, I'm now the senior engineer at Google, or I just got hired at IBM or Microsoft, right? Then people say, okay, oh, I know that. Okay, oh, you over at Nike? Oh, that's what's up, right? We have a self-esteem problem. A lot of us do. They're not used to the idea of a black person saying, no, I'm not owned by anybody. I'm not claimed by anybody. And I think that was the thing that I really liked about Cube when I talked to him. Because a lot of our celebrities are owned. They're just high-paid slaves. That's what it is. Somebody gets on the phone with them and basically tells them to pipe it down, or you're gonna lose this and lose that. They shut down. I respected Cube because he has always operated as his own man. Even back with NWA, he went against the grain. He built his own thing. He created an opportunity where there was none. There was no radio play for NWA when they came out. And then you saw with the movie Friday, John Singleton told him that there will never be a script written for a black man like you in Hollywood. These scripts are very rare. You got to write that script. So that's what led to the Friday series. And then when you get to the big three, Cube's not 6'8", 240 pounds, but he saw a massive multi-billion-dollar opportunity with all these great players that are respected brands that he could put in the big three league. So he's always been an initiator. And that's very important. That's a very important distinction that I actually respect when I see it, especially in a black man. Because to me, the power that you have as a black man and the root to your masculinity is partly connected to your ability to initiate, to say, I'm not doing this because somebody told me to do it. I'm doing it because I told me to do it. Right? That's leadership. That's strength. And so to that extent, I think that he was presenting something that was really ahead of his time. Just like when he said, fuck the police 30 years ago, everybody thought he was crazy. The FBI was trying to kill him, all this other stuff. Well, now 30 years later, everybody's saying, fuck the police. Well, now he's basically saying, you don't have to be red or blue. You could be your own man, and 30 years from now, people will get it. But right now, people are like, what are you talking about? I'm black. I'm supposed to be owned by somebody. And so really, if you think about this, though, it's very important for black people. And many people get this, right? It's very important for black people, especially the black man, to learn how to emerge from this sort of co-opting ownership culture. Because here's the thing, it's very dangerous for a black man to go through life looking for somebody to own and control him, right? It doesn't work in your favor because the white man competes with you in a way that he does not compete with anybody else. He oppresses you in a way he does not oppress anybody else. He's not afraid of the black woman the way he's afraid of you. So when you go in thinking, oh, we're buddies, we're friends, I need you to pat me on my ass and tell me that Black Lives Matter and give me some flowers, then they're going to exploit that. They're going to take advantage of that. And so really what I loved about this, with this election, as much as we can complain about how things happen and get mad about the whole Chicken George routine that people did after Biden got elected, I think there's a lot of reason to be very optimistic. I feel that no matter who ends up being president, I think Biden will be the president, but no matter who ends up being president, the black man already won this election. The black man won this election because he exerted himself into the conversation. Mm-hmm. You were removed from the conversation 25 years ago when the Biden crime bill was locking up some of your smartest, most ambitious men. The drug kingpins are not average dudes. These are guys that would have become multi-billion-dollar CEOs. They would have become heads of households. These are leaders. These are alphas. So they locked away a lot of your strongest men. And so for a long time, your families were breaking down, and they still are. We got to fix that. And there was no masculine leadership in the community. That's when the women started to just kind of step out and take over. And that's why they appealed to the women, because they're like, well, we don't need the approval from the man. It's like if somebody comes in your house and daddy's never home anyway, well, they're like, okay, I got to just make the mama happy. If the mama agrees, then I can do whatever I want. Mm-hmm. And so what's basically happened is daddy came home. Daddy came home and said, no. I know I've been gone for a while, but I'm back. And I'm going to have a voice in this whole conversation, whether y'all like it or not. So you're getting some people that cheer for that, right? We got black women that love it. They love to see black men act like men and not no little bitches, right? They love it when we step out and we're intelligent. When guys like Cube and other people have done this, right? Look eye to eye with a Joe Biden and say, no, let's negotiate, or Donald Trump or whomever. And then you got people who don't like it, right? Either because they're afraid, Fear is a strong motivator for black people. If you want to ever get black people to do anything, just tell them a scary story. He's gonna come kill you. He's gonna beat you. He's gonna steal your dog. He's gonna put you in prison, put you in concentration camps, all that. So a lot of people either operate on fear, or maybe they're just trapped by tradition and habit. But what's happening though is that because you made your presence felt, it's changing the whole conversation. Even the people who disagreed with what Ice Cube was doing are now changing the way they're talking to politicians. Even the people that were in Biden's pocket are now more aggressively negotiating because this issue was pushed. If that hadn't happened, they would be doing the same old thing. So we're all making progress together, whether we like it or not.
Absolutely. Now, the plan that Ice Cube put out, Trump, they kind of revised it, I guess, and they changed the name to the Platinum Plan. But then on the other side, you had the Lift Every Voice Plan. If you can, Dr. Watkins, could you kind of compare and contrast the Lift Every Voice Plan to Ice Cube's plan?
Well, the Lift Every Voice plan is one that is there's a little bit of talk about a lot of different areas, but a lot of it, it's first of all, just start with the titles, right? Platinum Plan, that's insulting. The Lift Every Voice Plan, that's insulting, right? All these are built on these weird stereotypes, of black people, right? And both of the plans are kind of a joke because they're not getting to the core and the heart of what black people really want. The thing about the Lift Every Voice Platinum Plan and then the contract with Black America is that two of these plans, one plan came from the Democratic Party leadership. The other one comes from the Republican Party leadership. The contract with Black America comes from black people. That's very different. You see, what a lot of politicians do, which is very unfortunate, is when they want to decide what they think, what is best for black people, they don't actually ask black people. They don't ask people like you and I. They go and they will say, okay, well, we're going to decide what we are willing to do for ourselves, and then we'll fit black people in there, and then we'll go convince black people that this plan will work for them. That's what they do. They did that even back with Obama.